Hey guys, welcome back to Down the Stretch. I'm the host, Christopher Charlton. I'm going to be looking at races for Saturday, May 31st, 2025. We have a 9-race program, some intriguing races running. So let's get right into it. The first race is for native bred 4-year-olds and up, numbers of 2, and imported 4-year-olds and up maiden. 9 starters, they go 6 furlongs. I'm boiling this race down to 4 horses. They're going to be the 1, Chief Dissident, the 2, Global Machine, the 7, Military Light, and the 8, Golden Lawyer. Okay, Chief Dissident, Radish Roman here for Patrick Lynch. Disappointed on last, was third by 3 lengths as the 75 favorite against Bushfire at 5.5 furlongs. Coming from very far off the pace, gets an extra half a furlong to travel here. But faces a tough little bunch of horses. And from this poor draw, he's going to have to get himself into a good position and don't get blocked out to come with his run in the stretch. But should run well once again. The 2, Global Machine, Paul Francis here for Carlton Cunningham. Last time out was a 6 by 10 lengths at 5 furlongs round to Social Mischief. Was very early in the pace but then backed out. Before that, at 6 furlongs, ran a better race, led early, then finished third by 3.5 lengths to Galloping Develos and Princess Catalina. Princess Catalina came back and won over the straight after that race. So that gives a good shot here from this Global Machine from a clean break, and probably looks like the horse that they're going to have to try and catch. The 7, Military Light. This horse has been knocking at the door but just can't seem to get it open. Ratajmar Weir claiming 4 kilos here for Gary Griffiths. Last time out, coming from far off the pace, was second by a length and 3/4 in that race, with Bushfire having Chief Dissident behind after coming out of the gate slow. Gets an extra half a furlong to run on, but we'll have to be doing that once again. But handicap is in favor, claiming that 4 kilos off 121 pounds and should come with his customary late run once again. And the 8, Golden Lawyer, Demar Williams, claiming 3 kilos here for David Powell. Last time out at 6.5 furlongs, was second by 12 lengths to way out of class Midnight Galaxy. Had Papi done 2 lengths behind in that. Before that, at 4 furlongs straight, was fourth by 8.5 lengths to Hail the Queen, breaking slow out of the gates that time. And his last run at 6 furlongs was the 12th of April, when finishing fourth by 3.5 lengths to Galloping Develos. That same race, he was just behind Global Machine. One of the fitter horses in the race and should once again fight it out. My outsider in this race to squeeze into the exotics is going to be the 4, Never. Anthony Allen claiming 3 kilos here from Michael Marlowe. Caught the exacta last time out with this horse when caught by Provident. Provident went up in class to run a very good race, ran second at numbers of 3. So off the basis of that performance, even though going to have speed to contend with here, going to give Never a shot at running another good race and to make it into the exotics. But if I had to pick a horse in this event who I'd like to win, I think I would lean towards the 8, Golden Lawyer. That would be my top choice. The second race, 3 years and up, claiming 1.5 million to 1.2 million. Small field of 6, they go a mile. Not going to waste much time here. I think this is a 2-horse race. Boiled down to the 2, Sunny T and Chippy, and the 4, Money Miser. Sunny T and Chippy, Radish Roman in the saddle here for Dale Murphy. Last time out, overnight allowance. Prominent very early before fading to finish 7 by 8.25 lengths to Divine Force and Gurvano. Before that, at overnight allowance at a mile. Prominent early, faded to finish 6 by 9.5 lengths to Sheer Delight and Rhythm Buzz. Taking a step down the claiming down to 1.5 million claimer. Still has some his good works behind him. And with the hot jock Radish Roman in the saddle, I think Sunny T and Chippy is the horse they're going to all have to beat. And my other choice, the only danger I think is there to this Sunny T and Chippy, is Money Miser. Richard Henry claiming 3 kilos here for Fitzroy Gillespie. Lackluster performance in last several starts. His last really good run was back in September of last year in the Typewriter Trophy, when coming from far off the pace at 7.5 furlongs to finish second by a neck to Sistine Treasure, having Burn Notice 4.5 lengths behind. Burn Notice is present today. And after that race at a mile in overnight allowance, came from very far off the pace to finish 5th by 2.5 lengths to Rainsville, Run Julian and Sheer Delight. Hasn't been the same since that race, but now stepping down to claimings for the first time, I think this is the horse that's going to give most of the fight to Sunny T and Chippy. So I think it's a 2-horse race, giving the edge to Sunny T and Chippy. Third race, native bred 4-year-old and up, maiden, field of 7. They go 5 furlongs straight. Another race I'm not really going to waste a lot of time with, to be honest. This is the kind of race that I probably use every horse in, but I think it's only a 2-horse race, and I'm boiling it down to only 2. It's going to be the 3, Alkebulan, and the 4, Lucky Papa. Okay, number 3, Alkebulan. Radish Roman here for Errol Burke. 2 starts to date. Made his debut on the 20th of October, 2024, and finished way off of the. He finished 9th by 99 lengths with Concho Francis in the saddle to Tiffany Blue and Seaplane. Didn't run again until the 22nd of March, 2025. 5 furlongs straight. A race in which he was a clear leader all the way up inside the final furlong and caught by the late running Bomb Knight, having Roman Princess behind, and broke slow out of the gates in that race, finished lame, but this well-bred son of Admiral Alex by Empress Hall out of Emperor Hall, freshened up, comes here, lay 6 for a time, and with Radish Roman in the saddle, I think this is the horse they're going to have to beat. And the only danger, I think, is going to be Lucky Papa, Richard Henry here, claiming 3 kilos for Lon Curlew. Last time out, prominent early, then faded to finish 4th by 15 lengths to Noble Monarch, who looked out of class in that event. And before that, at 5 furlongs round, was 3rd by 6 lengths to another out of class horse, Hail the Queen. So consistent and fit, and definitely the horse I think is going to give most of the problems to this Alkebulan. For trifecta, a horse that I think if this horse would just behave himself and jump, probably beats this field, but can only take him on trust. That's going to be the 1, Bold Shadow. Eric Hartman claiming 4 kilos here for Barrington Dawes. He was formerly trained by Patrick Lynch, but on several occasions has decided not to come out of the starting gates, and his last 2 times out of the gates was well beaten. Does have the potential to be a very good horse. Has been busy at the exercise track, at the gates. So if coming out of the gates, expecting a good run from this Bold Shadow at a good price. The 4th race, native bred 4-year-olds and up. Now there's a 4 and imported 4-year-olds and up. Now there's a 3. Field of 7, they go 6 furlongs. Nice little race here. Going to boil this down to 4 horses. They're going to be the 1, Main Mistress, the 3, Smart Trick, the 6, King Crown, and the 7, Justin Big Time. Okay, Main Mistress. Useful filly, American filly, but definitely plagued by issues. Dick Cardenas riding here for Peter John Passad. 3-5 favorite on last, but had no answers to Immeasurable Joy and Brenda Boy at a mile. Takes a cutting distance down to 6 furlongs. Should be more comfortable here. Busy at exercise. A nice workout on the 18th of May. 6 furlongs in 1:15 and 1. Last work coming to this was a Strud 6 in 1:22 and 2. And from the 1 draw, expecting Dick Cardenas to try to go and challenge the pace setter from early. Does have a good shot. The 3, Smart Trick, the horse they're going all have to catch. Richie Shakes claiming 3 kilos here for Anthony Nunes. Last time out over the straight 5 course with Dick Cardenas aboard was a beaten by a neck by Midnight Flight, having Justin Big Time behind. Before that, when just coming to the class, led but finished 5th by 7. I'm going to show that race out because I think the stablemate was more the horse they wanted to win there. That was Immeasurable Joy, who was 2nd in that event. And as you can see, came back and beat Justin Big Time by 3 lengths. So this time around, claiming that 3 kilos, I think this Smart Trick is the horse they're going to all have to catch. The 6, King's Crown. Impressive winner back on the 26th of April at 6 furlongs, winning by 6.5 lengths from Tiffany Blue, an undisclosed location in a smart 1:13 and 2. Stepped up in class to none a 4 over the straight 5 in that same race with Midnight Flight and Smart Trick, but has a very good excuse. Reared at the starting gates and then hopped after the start. Was left way behind the field. Radish Roman lost his right irons for maybe a half a furlong or 3/4 of the first furlong. Got his foot back in the irons and still ran past 5 horses to finish 5th. Although getting beaten by 9 lengths, Radish Roman sticks to this ride here for Stephen Todd. And definitely, I think King's Crown is going to fight this race out. And the 7, Justin Big Time, Dane Dawkins here for Gary Sobrati. Last time out 3rd by 3.5 lengths in that same race with Midnight Flight and Smart Trick. Last win was at this distance back in February when making all the running to beat J Spieth and Queen of Soul. J Spieth came back to run second to Queen of Soul recently, and Justin Big Time is in fine fettle right now. Should be one of the horses chasing the speed and should once again have a say in the outcome. But if I was going to make a wager in this event, I think I'm going to go for the unlucky King Crown. And the signals look better here. 3-1 morning line. And after that last run and Roman sticking to the ride, that's the horse I'd probably take a gamble on. So I'm giving the first choice to number 6, King's Crown. The fifth race, 3 years and up, optional claimer, 350,000 to 250,000, and native bred 6-year-olds and up, numbers of 3, 11 starters, they go 5.5 furlongs, and I'm going to boil this race down to 4. They're going to be the 5, Last Dance, the 9, John P., the 10, Little Groovy Thing, and the 11, Muso. Okay, Last Dance. Omar Simpson here for Michael Marlowe. Consistent start. Last 2 runs, though, disappointing. Was 4th by 8 lengths. That very suspicious race, won by 6th Avenue, beating General Chief. And before that, Prominent, and then faded to finish 6 by 25 lengths to E&I Links. But E&I Links was outclassing rivals. 6th Avenue was second in that event. So throw those 2 races out, and then the race before that at a mile, a good second there behind Lion of Icati, having So Magnificent behind, and just before that was 3rd by a half a length to King Ear and Conundrum. So back here among her peers, I think a much better run is expected from this Last Dance. The 9, John P., represents somewhat of a back-class animal in this event. O'Neill Mullins here for Tenzan Chung. Last time out was 8th by 44 lengths to Tigray Express. I'm tossing that race out at 500,000 claimer. Before that in April was didn't finish. A horse fell in front of him and he went down as well when he was in that race, won by Magical Mood. Is at the exercise trotting and hocking and stepping down to 350,000 claimers now, and even from the head of the scales, definitely a speedy sort, and I'm expecting this John P. to run a much better race this time around. The 10, Little Groovy Thing, Ryan Lewis here for Nicholas Smith. Last time out was a winner at this level by a head beating Sir Ganga Jamuna, who is present and the gifted one, after coming to the gate slow and then having to drift all the way across to the stand side by Joy Haynes, and still managed to get there by a head. Very fit right now and should have once again fight this out. And the 11, Muso. Shane Ellis here for Oral Hayden. Disappointing start. Was expected to move on to better thing, but definitely played by unsoundness. Last time out was 6 by 6 lengths to Phonometer back in February. Last good run was back in December of last year, when 3rd by 6.25 lengths to Who Done It. Taking a step down in class here to 350,000, and with Shane Ellis back in the saddle, Musa definitely has a good shot of pulling this off. I think the winner comes from one of those 4. The 6th race, native bred 3-year-old maidens, a 10-horse field. They go 6.5 furlongs. Boiling this down to 3 horses, they're going to be the 1, Alive, the 6, Nuclear Jet, and the 10, Don Quessy. Okay, number 1, Alive. Ryan Lewis here for Jason DaCosta. 2 starts, made a debut on the 5th of April at 5 furlong straight. Was 3rd by 4 3/4 lengths to I'm Outstanding. Came back in April, same month, 27th of April, 4 furlong straight, and was coming from off the pace after being slowly into stride and finishing 2nd by a length and 3/4 to Bangarang. So although drawn 1, I think does have enough pace to try to get himself out of a tight spot, and with the presence of Ryan Lewis, even from the top of the scale, this Alive must be near with a good shot of pulling this off. The 6, Nuclear Jet, Dane Dawkins here for Enos Brown, made his debut on the 10th of May, over 5 furlongs straight. Hesitated when leaving the starting gate and was left at the back of the field, tender-handled by Richie Shakes there, and came home flying to finish 5th by 5.5 lengths in the race with Prince Kazir and Don Quessy. As I said, Dane Dawkins now has a ride. They've taken off the blinkers and they've added the tongue tie. Busy at the exercise track. Definitely think this Nuclear Jet is going to fight this race out. And the horse looks like they're going to have to beat is The 10, Don Quessy, Philip Parchment here for Barrington Bernard. 2 starts to date. On the 27th of April was a winner by a half a length over 4 furlong straight, but was disqualified. Came back on the 10th of May and was fighting and finished second by half a length and was also disqualified in that event. The blinkers are now on, the tongue tie is on, and he gets lasix for the first time. And once he stays out of trouble, looks like the animal that they're all going to have to beat. But in this race, I think I'm leaning towards this 6, Nuclear Jet. Outside, I might squeeze into my superfecta. Would probably be the 3, Cutout. Interested in the bred. Want to be a player out of What's Your Story by Traditional. So I'm bred for some speed there. Romain Garden riding for Raymond Townsend, claiming 4 kilos. And busy at the exercise, even has a 47.4 from the gate. Finished in a 105 and 103 and 1. So looks like this Cutout has some speed, so I'll definitely squeeze that one in my exotics. The 7th race, native bred 3-year-olds, non-owners of 2 and imported 3-year-olds and up maiden, 7 starters, quick sprint 5.5 furlongs, boiling this down to 3. They're going to be the 2, Wayne's Cherry Links, the 6, Easy Money, and the 7, Princess Chris. Okay, the 2, Wayne's Cherry Link, Dane Dawkins here for Barrington Bernard. 3 starts today, made her debut on the 15th of December in the Miss Ruth Trophy, was 3rd by 3.5 lengths running on to Strong Mind and Ideal Winner. Came back in January, the 18th of January, 6 furlongs, and was a strong 2nd by a length to Riley J, and was awarded the race when Riley J was disqualified. Came back the next month, the 23rd of February, against some very useful Americans, and was 6 by 11 lengths to Nephew Gervano and H2O. And off of the strength of that, definitely should have a shot here. Freshened up for this, and the visors are now on. Watch out for this Wayne's Cherry Links. The 6, Easy Money, Shane Ellis here for Anthony Nunes. 4 starts to date, 1 on debut back in February at 5 furlongs round, beating Brahma Bull. Came back on the 15th of March in the Sir Howard Stakes at 6 furlongs. Had a very awkward start and was chasing most of the way. Was 6 by 8 lengths at the top of the lane. Finished 6 by 5 3/4 lengths at the finish to honor Prince and Prince Roy after breaking slow. Next start out was at the 27th of April at 6.5 furlongs. Broke winging, hit the top of the stretch in front, and then tied up in the stretch to stablemate Linguist, Brahma Bull, and Enthusiasm. Came back in May, 5 furlongs straight. Nothing really shown there against stablemate, another one, and Lockdown was 2nd in that event. So since breaking his maiden, hasn't shown a lot, but this time around coming here in a much smaller field, and Shane Ellis opting for the ride here, definitely giving this Easy Money a good shot of getting it right this time around. The 7, Princess Chris, Shane Richardson here for Norman Smith. 2nd and last at 6.5 furlongs to Miss Grove. Before that, on the 19th of April, was 2nd by 8 lengths to the Incredible Joe. And just before that was 4th by 5 3/4 lengths to Mighty Gully and another one. Lacks real speed, but is fit right now and should once again put in a good run. The 8th race, 3-year-olds and up, open allowance, field of 7, 5 furlongs straight. This is the Harlequin Cup, and this is going to be a speed fest. Let's go through the runners. Number 1 is Unbelievable Force, Delroy Bihari here for Philip Fiani. Ultra consistent Philly, winner on last by 3.5 lengths over Money Market and Gervana at 5.5 furlongs in overnight allowance. Takes a step up in class and tons of speed over the straight 5 course though. Going to have a lot of company on the headline. Expected to run a good race. The 2, Desert of Malibu, Dane Dawkins here for Gary Sobrati. 8th by 26 lengths on last when highly fancied in the Seeking My Dream Trophy. What was expected, hadn't run since the 24th of December, so definitely needed that run. Now back here, this was the distance she won her first 2 races at Caymanas Park in, and she's going to enjoy this galloping course. Desert of Malibu is in here with a glorious shot. The 3, Legacy Isle, Radish Roman for Rowan Crichton. fourth by 4 3/4 lengths on last as the even money favorite to pack plays at 6.5 furlongs. Before that was a win at 5 furlongs round. Getting his act together now since being pulled up on the 1st of January. Busy at exercise, had a brilliant work recently with stablemate Commandant, 5 furlongs straight out the gate in 58-2 by 45-2. And of the strength of that, this Legacy Isle is coming here to run. Especially like how he finally changed his lead leg on last. The 4, Bootylicious, Wesley Henry here for Peter John Prasad, represents one of the speedier horses in the event, but showed on last that definitely not really a A1 horse, as the speed collapsed up front. But one thing for sure, this Bootylicious is going to make sure that the pace is run honest. The 5, Mahogany, the back class horse of the race, the 8-year-old chestnut gelding. Richie Shakes claiming 3 kilos here for Ian Prasad. Ultra consistent horse, rarely runs a bad race, and even at the age of 8 on last 5.5 furlongs was a fighting winner over Unbelievable Force, and comes back here ready once again. Should enjoy the 5 furlong straight. Can't put anything past this Mahogany, even at the age of 8. Should once again put in a capital effort. The 6, Is That a Fact, Robert Halladine for Jason DaCosta. After a good run over the straight course, when finishing 3rd by 2.5 lengths to champion Bubbler, came back at 7.5 with a lackluster performance to Commandant, but that was the top class there. Coming back here against Open Allowance Company over the straight 5 course. Burdened by the top weight of 126 pounds, the tongue tie has now been removed. It's interesting to see how this Is That a Fact performs, but is comfortable running over the straight. So keep an eye on this Is That a Fact, even from the head of the scales. And the 7, Champion Bubbler. Demar Williams claiming 3 kilos here for Spencer Chung. 10-1 upset winner last time out in the Reggae Trophy over the straight 5, but that was carrying only 105 pounds. And Blue Pass Pack Plays and Bootylicious and Is That a Fact in the final 16th. Before that was a winner by a length and a quarter over Money Market, and before that was a winner by 2.5 lengths over Cookie Day and Night. So a vastly improved 6-year-old mare looking for 4 consecutive wins. They've put on the tongue tie and taken off the figure 8. I wonder why. This horse has won 3 consecutive races. So that's the only question sign here with the Champion Bubbler. And should once again run a good race over her favorite Trip. But for me, I think after that recent run, I think Desert of Malibu should come up, put in her best kick and run these down. I think Legacy Isle should be the horse fighting it out with her. Good run expected from Mahogany and Champion Bubbler to round off the superfecta. But for me, it's going to be Desert of Malibu. The 9th and final, native bred 5 years and up, numbers of 3, and imported 5 years and up, numbers of 2. A field of 11 go 5 furlongs straight. Boil this race down to 3 horses. They're going to be the 2, Bella Bella, the 8, Electrode, and the 11, Golden Loyalty. Bella Bella, Radish Roman here. Dale Murphy, Radish Roman on some very live rides. Let's see if his win streak will continue. Bella Bella, last time out, 4 furlongs straight, second by a short head to Best Daughter-in-Law. Kismet was 3rd in that event. That was coming off of a long rest. Busy at the exercise track, so definitely sound. Bella Bella should fight this out. The 8, Electrode, speedy horse. Demar Williams claiming 3 kilos here for Lawrence Fremantle. Lightly raced, so definitely has his problems, but with a lot of pace and expecting Electrode to keep all and sundry honest throughout. And the 11, Golden Loyalty, the horse I think they all have to beat. Philip Parchment here for Paul Swaby. Last time out was 4th by 7.5 lengths to Give Me the Light back on February. Before that was 5th by 8.25 lengths to Equinox, and before that was 4th by 12 lengths to Bulletproof Coffee. And freshened up for this race, busy at the exercise track, and this Golden Loyalty to me looks like the horse they're going to have to beat. For the exotics, I would probably throw in the 4, Dream Warrior. Everton Stone riding here for Rohan Matty Jr. Rogish sort tends to stand in the starting gates most of the time. But if this Dream Warrior decides to jump on this occasion over the straight 5 course, it wouldn't be surprising to see Dream Warrior run away with this at an upset price. And another horse to squeeze into the superfecta is going to be the 6. That's Password. Richie Shakes claiming 3 kilos here for Donovan Plummer. Was a useful horseman at the stables of Jason DaCosta. Very well bred horse. Definitely has his problems. Had back-to-back wins back in June when winning 4 furlongs straight over Manislam and then 5 furlongs straight over Sister D. Only 2 starts since June of last year was 11th of July. 5 furlongs straight, 4th by 11 lengths to Mrs. Lyndhurst, and recently the 26th of April when finishing 9 by 12 lengths to Best Daughter-in-Law. Much better for that recent pipe opener and claiming 3 kilos from a very informed jockey, Richie Shakes. This Password is an outsider to watch. Okay, guys, so that's it for this program, and hope we all have some luck. And as usual, stay safe.